Hello students, welcome to this class. So today we are going to start the new chapter from your Honeysuckle book, that is the Banyan tree. In this chapter, the author Ruskin Bond narrates an incident of a fight between a mongoose and a cobra that he witnessed as a young boy while sitting under a banyan tree at his grandparents' house. So let's start reading first. The fight of the cobra and the mongoose is a classic drama often seen in India, and the outcome is largely the same. Outcome means result. The mongoose is not immune to the venomous bite, but it's faster and quicker in motion than the snake. Immune means power to protect, and venomous means poisonous, and motion means movement. So it's very common in India to see the fight of a cobra, poisonous snake, and a mongoose. Though the mongoose is not able to protect itself from the poisonous bite of the snake, but its reactions are so fast by which it's able to win over the snake. The cobra assumes a posture of defense and attempts to reach the animal by a sweeping strike. Sweeping strike means very fast speed. But the quick moving mongoose jumps out of reach and comes at the snake from another direction before the snake can get into striking position again. This constant movement tires and discourages the snake, and the mongoose is finally able to leap, means to jump, in close and bury its teeth in the snake's neck. Now usually severing the joints of its vertebrae. Severing means breaking, and vertebrae means bones of the spinal column of the snake. So the cobra tries to protect itself and bite the mongoose with lightning speed, but the fast moving mongoose is very skilled to give a tough competition to the snake. It doesn't give much time to the snake to come in its previous position. It creates disturbance to annoy the snake until it gets tired, and then it finally able to jump and breaks the bones of the spinal column of snake, which also causes its death. So in this way, in the fight of a mongoose and a cobra or any other snake, the winner is mongoose only because of its quick reaction and movements. Now let's forward. Though the house and the grounds belonged to my grandparents, the magnificent old banyan tree was mine, chiefly because grandfather at 65 could no longer climb it. So the author, Ruskin Bond, was at his grandparents' house and he claimed that the banyan tree belonged to him, though the house owner were his grandparents. He said so because his grandfather was 65 years old and was unable to climb the tree. Its spreading branches, which hung to the ground and took root again, forming a number of twisting passages, gave me endless pleasure. Among them were squirrels and snails and butterflies. The tree was older than the house, older than grandfather, as old as Dehradun itself. I could hide myself in its branches behind thick green leaves and spy on the world below. Spy means watch secretly. So the author felt very happy and joyful to see the opened out branches of the tree, which used to hang from the tree in bunches to the ground. These roots had formed loops, and various animals like squirrels, snails, and butterflies were living in the turns of these loops. So the tree was very old, older than the house and the grandfather. It was as old as the city of Dehradun. So the author enjoyed very much while hiding himself behind its branches and watched the scenes secretly through them. My first friend was a small grey squirrel, arching his back and sniffing into the air. He seemed at first to resent my invasion of his privacy, but when he found that I did not arm myself with catapult or air gun, he became friendly. So, arcing means bending, sniffing means to smell, resent means to dislike, and invasion means attack. Catapult means a harmful thing to hunt the squirrel, you can say, to hit the squirrel. Now, first of all, the author became friends with the small squirrel, and first of all, it bent its back and smelled into the air in the beginning. In the beginning, it was not so friendly with the author. It didn't like the author's interruption into its privacy. But when it realized that the author was not armed with anything to harm it, it became his friend. And when I started bringing him pieces of cake and biscuits, he grew quite bold and was soon taking morsels from hand. Morsels means pieces of food, or you can say bread or biscuits. Before long, he was delving into my pockets and helping himself to whatever he could find. Soon, the author started bringing him tidbits of food like cakes or biscuits. The squirrel started eating small pieces of food from his hands. Very soon, it started searching into author's pocket to find something to eat. He was a very young squirrel, and his friends and relatives probably thought him foolish and headstrong for trusting a human. Headstrong means stubborn. So he says that he was a very small squirrel, and his kins means relatives must have thought him to be a fool to believe on a human like an author. In the spring, when the banyan tree was full of the red figs, birds of all kinds would flock into the branches. The red-bottomed bulbul, cheerful and greedy parrots, myna and crows squabbling with one another. During the fig season, the banyan tree was the noisiest place in the garden. So, squabbling means quarreling. So, in the spring season, the banyan tree used to be in full bloom. It used to be full of small red figs. Figs is a name of fruit. Different words like bulbul, myna and crows used to quarrel with one another over small things. Their voices together used to make the place noisy in the garden during the fig season. Halfway up the tree, I had built a crude platform where I would spend the afternoons when it was not too hot. I could read there, propping myself against the tree with a cushion from the living room. Propping means to take support of something. So, on the tree, the author had built a platform to sit over there. In the afternoon, when it was not very hot, he used to spend his time there. He had put a cushion there which he had picked from the drawing room and was able to read at this place while taking support of the tree branch. Treasure Island, Huckleberry Finn, and the Story of Dr. Dolittle were some of the books that made up my banyan tree library. So he had set up a small tree library, and the books that he had read there were Treasure Island, Huckleberry Finn, and the Story of Dr. Dolittle. When I did not feel like reading, I could look down through the leaves at the world below. And on one particular afternoon, I had a grandstand view of that classic of Indian wilds, a fight between a mongoose and a cobra. So whenever he got bored of reading books, he used to watch the scene below through the leaves, that how the birds were quarreling and then they flying from there. But one day, when he was sitting on the tree in the afternoon, he had a close view of great Indian fight between a mongoose and a cobra. And he was so excited and curious to see the fight till the end. After that, what would happen and who will win at the last in this fight, we will know in the next part of this chapter. Till then, take care of yourself. Enjoy your day. Thank you.